Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some beautiful Chinese expressions describing beautiful people, mostly women, because the language mostly was used by men back when the language was um, passed between generations in the educational system that households sent men to send their boys to learn rather than girls. So, such expressions are often used to idealize women, their desire of interest. Okay, 粉面桃花 is today's expression. Here we have face. Okay, we describe, I guess, the main attractive feature of a person, like your, idealized love interest. I guess mostly come from the face, right? I mean, body is important, but probably face has a lot more information if we want to use it as the information, or like a lot of message passing between individuals are from the face. So 粉面桃花 draw attention to the face. And then we have, of course, the flower, the bloom in there, and a particular kind of a bloom. It's a peach bloom. A few episodes ago, we compare, we have water lily as one type of depiction of woman, just like fresh out of water, like a lotus, right? And in Chinese, 桃花 was used on women to depict the women themselves, as well as to depict the luck in the love department. I mean, yes, there were love, I guess. Idealize woman and also idealize relationship with women, or this encountering with women is part of it, right? You want to have your luck. Okay, so anyways, 粉, we have the right symbol on the left and the split symbol on the right. Okay. I translate as a pink. It's like nothing makes sense right here. Okay. Right symbol is a cross and then have 4 strokes like that. Chinese often call English flag the rice flag because it's an 8-piece cut. It has the quarter cut and then diagonal, right? So it cuts into 8 pieces or 8 directions. And that is Chinese rice symbol. Rice symbol probably came from the classification of the grains. So I would imagine the harvesting season when you try to sell your day's work, your year's work of the grains, and then some merchants come here to evaluate what's the grade level of the grains, right? So this cut, this quarter cut, then symbolized as the classification. So I would imagine back then people may use such kind of boxed up spaces to separate things into different piles. And interestingly, quadrants, this frame of 2-dimensional thing, to try to understand things in a 2-dimensional space. And then this quadrants cutting was a common analysis tool. But back then, when we are classifying our grains, it was already used in there, right there, like in our language. Okay, right symbol on the left. Right symbol, the right side is a symbol for cutting. So the cutting came from a knife, of course, the tool for cutting. And then the two separated as the result of cutting. So how much more obvious you want to make it physically on a 2D frame to give it a sense of cutting or separating or splitting. You have the knife to do that, and you have the thing separated to show the evidence of doing that, right? So we have this separation, and we have this rice symbol together. Somehow it means pink. Okay, before it was meant for pink, it was powder. And I guess we can somewhat gets from the right symbol and the separation symbol. Why is powder? Because this粉was, I guess, the flour. So the rice rounded up into a powdery format, as if it's separated by knife, like a cup, like one tiny grain piece of rice further cut into finer pieces and into the powdery form. So it's like rice already separated into its different grade level and then further cut into finer pieces. That process create a result of powder form. So flour, even if it's from wheat, okay, it's not from rice. But here we can regard this rice as a generic grains as well. Like it doesn't necessarily to mean the rice that were, as if marketed in contemporary supermarket as rice, but it could mean a wheat or any kind of grain, a barley. What else I can come up with? Flax. So all kinds of grains of the grain fruit of the, not fruit, but I guess in a sense it's a fruit of a plant. Like that doesn't come up with a fruit like a juicy, it's totally dry, but it put the essence. It's the seed, right? The seed of the plant, but in a grain form. And that's for human food consumption. And the variety of that can all be used to describe by the symbol of a classification of such grain. And then further cut it. So that's the powder. Okay. Powder eventually, even if it came from this food processing and result in a powdery form, eventually it was used to mean the powder put on, as if in a beauty industry, the powder format of face covering or look altering device or a form of beauty industry's product as powder. And as powder for face eventually used to mean pink. So I guess it's the rouge, what do you call it? Yeah, it's the rouge, right? So it's a particular kind of a powder that have this tint of pinkish color to bring out the healthy look of the skin. Like even if what you put on the surface of the skin, try to create the illusion of what's beneath the skin. That's healthy looking pinkish color. Okay, so from rice, from powdery form, from the powdery beauty application on the face to the color pink. And now you see the pink color paired with face. So both the color and the powder, these two concepts can be applied directly onto the face, right? And the face is made of this nose bridge, this shape, nose bridge, and then the two verticalized nostrils underneath the nose bridge. So it's basically the center part of your face. And then the first layer of this full, like a whole circle, almost a full enclosure circle, except that there is an opening right here. So this circle means, okay, here we're talking about the whole face, right? The whole face. That's defined by the center of the face and the borderlines, the edges of the face, just by the two major structure. Imagine a circle. We can define a circle by the location of the center, right? And we can define it by the edge or the radius, and then the whole circle is defined. Just like that, Chinese abstract the whole face with the center of the face and the border of the face. That's it. And then there's exact same border running again outside of it. So that's emphasizing not the whole thing, but now the emphasis is on the borderline of the face. So basically it's emphasizing the surface, the face, the face of the face, the surface of the face. So it's the edges of the face that's emphasizing. When it's the same line drawn twice over there, then okay, that's what the language creators intend. The emphasis is on the border, is on the edge. It's on this interface between what's beneath you and what's beyond you. And that's the border, that's the face. Okay, pink face, that describes the powdered, probably pinkish color powdered face. You see how Chinese merge the two functions of the color and the powder into one character applied to the face. But yeah, okay. So it's a face that's with makeup on it already. And 桃花, as if there are peach blossoms are blooming from there. So this comparing a female face feature, either its color feature or how useful it's looking to the flower bloom. And in particular, it's a peach bloom. So peach comes from this tree symbol, the canopy of the tree, root of the tree connected by the trunk of the tree. So a tall standing plant, that is a tree. And then the right side is the crack of a record keeping that's carved onto turquoise. So turquoise was used to be this relatively permanent record because ancient times, things are going to be erased by time, over time, right? So probably ancient people found that messages carved onto turquoise are going to endure time a little better. So this, I view this as the shell itself, and then the crack in the middle, and then the two side dots can be the hand holding this piece of record. There, it's a precious thing because it carved on it the ancient message, cross-generational. It only important message I would imagine will be carved because it's a lot of work, right? The material itself was not every day available easily. You have to transport it, store it somewhere, and somebody have to hand carve the message in it. So it's a precious thing. And this cracked record keeping next to this plant symbol, because peach, the fruit of the peach, have this irregular shape, almost like a cracky shape of patterns that's shown on the surface of the peach fruit. And this describes the main feature of how that peach looks like, without the shape or the color, but actually it's a pattern shown on the surface of the peach that got this cracky, like irregular, undecipherable message almost from the plant to you. Like when you look at the peach, each peach came with its unique peachy pattern on it. So that's Chinese peach. And of course, we're not talking about the fruit here. We're talking about the flower here. So the flower have this two trident thing, that's plant-based symbol, two layers of petals and pollen pole. That's a structure. And it tells you directly, this is about the plant. This is about the flower part of the plant. And then the bottom gives you the speaking function. The speaking comes from this puff of air, and then this blocker of the speech creation, which is the lips, mouth piece that create this constant changing, narrowing, or friction of the air channel so that it doesn't just come out without abstraction. You have to abstract it for it to create a particular kind of sound, right? And so that speech, that articulation was captured by the language creator and used here to pair with the organ of fruit-bearing possibility of this flower thing image to mean, okay, the flower is the language, the articulation of the plant. That's the message sending out to the world that I'm ready to be pollinized to pass my seed. Okay, so that's why my understanding why it's paired with the speaking function. So 粉面桃花, the message of the flower is just like that. This female, idealized female, have this pinkish powdered face that create or evoke the desire in whoever view that person as if that's a blooming peach tree. And 粉面桃花 actually I'm translating, actually extract the two colors from it. One is 粉, it's both the powder and the color pink, right? That's commonly used the palette to bring out the healthy color tone underneath the the ancient phase. Okay, and 桃花 is particular kind of peach tree that have this also soft feminine color palette on it. So both 粉 and 桃. Now I'm using their color quality, extract that as peach, pink, and peach. That's 粉面桃花. And this combination will be, illustrated by this beauty industry's advertising. I guess this is from one of a magazine, because I'm trying to find where we're talking about 粉面桃花. And indeed, it's called 桃花妆. It's the peach makeup. So the whole thing is to evoke the color of peach, which I suppose is this color, kind of a fuchsia, right? Color. And so people use that color palette on their face and as a type of makeup, color palette at least, or the whole gamut of how to do your eyes or lips, all that. So it's used and quoted, naturally, right, in the beauty industry to create, because it's 粉面. It talks about this, on your face, this powdery form to create color and to evoke the, the youthful look as if you're blossoming peach. That's 粉面桃花. Into the currency thinking by one with a database of